everybody and welcome back to another pattern on the handpan by NovaPans Handpans. Today we are covering pattern number 7. If you've not already checked, we've got 6 other patterns which are build-ups essentially to the pattern we're learning today. They are in a way in chronological order, but depending on your level, your experience, your interest, you might start at any pattern. It's really up to you. And the sheet music for all of this is accessible and free from novapans.com/learn. You just have to select the pattern you want to download, and that's it, you can download it. So, pattern 7, we were playing this. Sorry. Slowly. And what I want to do today is develop that even further so that we convert essentially these ending quaver notes of each of the groups here of 2 beats into simile semi-quavers. So essentially I'm going to change the quavers here into semi-quavers, and I'm going to do it like this. And essentially the effect of that is that it feels like it's constantly pushing forward, which has an effect in itself. So all I'm doing is, for example, the first one, I go 2, 5, 2, 5, knuckle 5. Yeah. 2, 5, 2, 5, knuckle 5, 2, 5. It's as if I'm going up again. You know, so it suggests as if we're about to play the knuckle again, but we don't. We progress to the next chord, 3 and 5. So it's not what we expect, which is what we like in music sometimes, to create that effect. So 2, 5 is what we're doing. Alright, so that's now a group of, although a bit wonky, a group of 4 semiquavers. And we know that semiquavers are quarter beat notes, as you can see, and 4 of them make up 1 beat. There you go, like that. So each of these are a quarter. You can see they have 2 tails on them. So if you take this out, you get 2 tails. That's what this is. So that's what's going on here. So now we've got on beat 2. So we've got here this rhythm 1 and a, because it's a quaver followed by 2 semiquavers. So you've got a half beat, 2 semiquavers, half beat, and 2 quarter beats. Bum bum bum, and then on beat 2 you've got our 4 groups of semiquavers, 2 e and a, da 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 da. Okay. Sounds like this on the handpan with the respective notes. That's with note 9. In fact, I'm going to put note 9 here as an option for anyone who wants to put note 9 instead. Because sometimes it's nice to just have it fully melodic without any percussive sounds. But it's up to you, you see. Now that we're developing things, you really have the freedom to experiment with your own music making, your own way. So I'm going to use the 9 because I like it. So we've got 2, 5 together, 2, 5, 9, 5, 2, 5, without me speaking. So with the tempo, make sure you play to the time, the right tempo. 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 e and a 1 and a 2 e and a 1 and a 2 e and a. If that's too fast, slow it down. 60 beats per minute is a good one. That's basically a beat per second. If you have a metronome app, for example, Soundbrenner is a free one, that's quite good. Or just keep that mental click. Slow it down even more for practice purposes. Don't be afraid. There's nothing wrong. If anything, it's encouraged to start slow as possible to get the timing. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and again 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That's 2 and 5, 2, 5, 9, 5, 2, 5. So all the notes are the same distance, the same length, note length, except for the first 2 and 5. The 2 and 5, the first 2 and 5 is just a half beat, but everything following it is a quarter beat. So quaver followed by 4 semiquavers. 1, 2, 2. Or I should say 6 semiquavers. And on the 3 and 5. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. So the same thing, meaning for the quavers, the end of each set here, we are changing them to play the note they're already playing, plus the note that came just prior to it. So, and we know that's the 5. So here we've got 3, 5, okay, coming down. So now there, that's a set of semiquavers. And here also, this is playing 4. It doesn't matter that it's 4, we're still playing 4 and 5 now as semiquavers. And the same here, back to 3 again. 3, 5. Semiquavers. Boom. Just like that. So what that looks like, what that sounds like, so we've got the tail here. Is this. Slowly. Hopefully you can see my right foot. That's it, that's pattern 7, and that sounds really lovely. When you get it at the beginning, you're probably just trying to work out the notes, and therefore you're not thinking or worried too much about their dynamics, how loud and quiet they are, the expression. But as you develop your music, you probably want to try to practice some variety in the expression of your music. For example, dynamics, the volume. For example, you might play the first bar, there's a bar here, piano, which is Italian for quiet. These are terms we use in Western traditional music notation. And then you might play the second bar, mezzo forte, which is essentially kind of a medium level of volume. So starting with piano, we would write that in this way. piano, and then mezzo forte. Okay. There's also extreme versions of these as well. Well, not so extreme, but enhanced versions. So forte, fortissimo, pianissimo. So let's try to practice that since we're here. Play the first bar. I'm starting to have to squat for this because it's not quite tall enough for me. Let's play the 2 and 5, the first bar quiet. And then mezzo forte. Piano again. Mezzo forte. So just because I'm playing at mezzo forte doesn't mean smack the handpan, play it as loud as possible. Again, always be conscious of your lovely delicate handpan. You don't want to be hitting it too hard. At the same time, it's lovely to play quietly, but sometimes if you overdo it, if you try to play too quiet, you sometimes don't get the notes. Which in a way is also an effect in itself, but called ghosting. But we'll get to that in we've already covered that in a previous tutorial, but we'll get that implemented into a pattern in the future. To create more of a change of dynamics, merging change of emotion in your music, referring to the dynamic change, you might want to implement a gradual change in the dynamics. For example, gradually get louder, and that's where you might implement something like this, a crescendo. Crescendo essentially implies that you start here, you start where the point is, or at least you start left, on the left side, and then depending on how what would we call them, the crocodile mouths, I believe there's a more technical term for that, but they indicate that you get louder as you go, depending on the way they're shaped. If it's shaped the other way around, it's big to small, then it indicates a diminuendo, which is play from loud to quiet. You're at mezzo forte, you don't get louder anymore, you just play the mezzo forte at a consistent mezzo forte. My crescendo wasn't so effective there, let's try to make that more apparent. It's not very clear, I mean we don't have a lot of time, so you really have to crescendo quite quickly there. Let's try again. And notice how when you play the top notes, they tend to be a little bit more easier to produce. Therefore, especially during a crescendo, you always have to be doubly conscious of what you're playing. There you go. They probably sounded all the same. So what I might do is convert this second bar to forte so that we have more room to grow. Let's try again, sorry. So hopefully you get that. I think you should. So there you go. We've covered, yes, a more enhanced version of the pattern previously covered. We've thrown in some dynamics. We've done the option to do percussion, if you like, and we've gone over rhythms. So pattern 8 will probably be something like. Everything's a semiquaver, so that we can get into that and play more melodic. So definitely tune into the next pattern. Thank you for watching and see you there. Bye bye.